Beyond Goethe's Faust or the tales and novels of E.T.A. Hoffmann, German fantastic literature remains largely unknown in France, yet there are a few works alongside those already mentioned that have achieved renown extending well beyond the Rhine. Such is the case with the novels The Golem, The Green Face and Walpurgis Night, all three works by Gustav Meyrink. Born in Vienna in 1866, he was the illegitimate son of a Württemberg state minister and an actress, Marie Meyer. He studied in Munich, Hamburg and finally Prague, then a city of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. In 1901 he officially changed his surname. He abandoned Meyer, a Jewish name, an object of mockery. There was an expression on the model of "I'll be hanged if," "I'll be called Meyer if," for that of Meyrink. One must also likely see in this a recurring hostility toward his mother, whom he would reproach all his life for her repeated absences and lack of affection. After an unsuccessful attempt at banking, he turned resolutely to writing. The historic capital of Bohemia, one of the most cosmopolitan cities of the Habsburg monarchy, allowed him to immerse himself in a spirituality tinged with esotericism. A Lutheran by faith, he would convert to Buddhism toward the end of his life. He was a member of the Theosophical Society of Prague and was admitted into the Martinist order and then the Rosicrucians, but he also explored Kabbalah, Christian mysticism, Eastern mysteries, gnosis, and occult practices. In 1901 he began publishing his first short stories in the German satirical weekly Simplicissimus. His writings, satirical, fantastical, or grotesque, met with real success and were published several times in collected volumes. Settling in Vienna in 1903, he took over the direction of a small humor magazine, Lieber Augustin, named after a very popular 17th century Viennese song, O du lieber Augustin, O you dear Augustine. At the same time, since his income remained modest and he had a family to support, he took on translation work, notably of Dickens's complete works. His literary fame, however late in coming, would prove meteoric. In 1915, he published The Golem in Germany. The story unfolds at the end of the 19th century in the labyrinthine streets of Prague's Jewish ghetto and draws on the Golem, a figure from Jewish mythology, a creature of clay devoid of free will, condemned to serve its creator. The central character and narrator, Athanasius Pernath, is a gem cutter who has lost his memory and finds himself swept into a fantastical and horrifying exploration of the old Jewish quarter and some of its inhabitants. While the public reception was extraordinary, with nearly 100,000 copies sold in the first year alone, and this while Germany and Europe were in the midst of war, the reception was more mixed, even hostile, among German nationalist circles who accused Meyrink of philosemitism, while the Jewish community criticized him for exploiting their traditions for commercial gain, for misunderstanding Kabbalah, and for betraying their folklore. As for Lovecraft, an authority on the subject, he praised a masterly ambiance with its dark and haunting notes of wonder and horror that are simply unmatched. The following year, in 1916, The Green Face appeared. The plot unfolds in Amsterdam, an island of neutrality in a Europe at war. The Dutch city, a hub of European emigration, was both point of departure and final stopover for a shady multitude. Sailors in transit, aristocrats in exile, swindlers, charlatans, Kabbalists, illusionists, false magicians, and true sorcerers cross paths and jostle one another in dives, taverns, and a mysterious conjuring shop set in the heart of the ghetto. An esoteric symbol, the green face, guides the purest among them through the labyrinth of both streets and minds. While sales of the green face fell short of the Golem's, the novel having been judged too hermetic by many readers, though still some 40,000 copies, Meyrink returned to success in 1917, 3 novels and no minor ones in 3 years, with the publication of Walpurgis Night. The plot again unfolds in Prague in 1887 against the backdrop of socialist, anarchist, and Czech nationalist political unrest aimed at rousing the population against the ruling power and institutions. On April 30th, during Walpurgis Night, when ghosts and demons are set loose and witches celebrate their Sabbath, cosmic forces accompany the fury unleashed by the conspirators. The novel, dark and violent, had a particular resonance in a Europe still at war and beginning to be stirred by heightened revolutionary sentiment. Notably, the Italian edition, first published in 1944, was translated and prefaced by Julius Evola. The Italian version was reissued in 1972 and again in 1979. Victim of political correctness, the Italian philosopher's name was removed from the latest edition. Finally, free of financial hardship, Meyrink published two more novels, The White Dominican in 1921 and an esoteric novel, The Angel of the West Window, in 1927. The latter features the famous 16th century alchemist and astrologer John Dee. In July 1932, Meyrink's son, an experienced mountaineer, was left paraplegic by a fall and took his own life. 6 months later, overcome with despair, Meyrink deliberately exposed his bare chest to the icy winter wind and cold. He died on December 4, 1932, leaving behind a body of work blending the fantastical, the novelistic, occultism, and coded texts. His grave in the Starnberg Cemetery in Bavaria bears the inscription, "Vivo, I am alive."